Hello everybody, it is Friday. It is about it's about 12:35 here in Pennsylvania, and this is the back road I'm on, so I'm just sharing it with you guys. It's probably a road I shouldn't be on, but I'm on it anyway, because I'm following the Google map instead of a trucking map. You can see the water next to my right. You see that white part over there is the water. This is a beautiful area, mainly for camping. And one indication that'll let you know that you're on a road you're not supposed to be on is when you fucking see that you're the only truck on the fucking road. When it comes to, you know what I'm saying, traffic and other trucks. Normally, if you see another truck, that's a good sign. If you don't see another truck, not such a good sign. So I've been on many roads I shouldn't be on in an 18-wheeler, and this is, you know, pretty much familiar as far as knowing when I'm on a road I shouldn't be on. So yeah, I need to get a truck. So yeah, big tip for you know, drivers, you know, out there on the road. You know, my main tip is basically get you a trucking GPS. No matter what the cost, it'll save you a lot of trouble in the end, man. It'll save you from going under low bridges or even coming to low bridges. It'll also save you from being lost, getting on these roads, or ending up on routes that trucks should not be on. You know what I mean? Because that can also be very dangerous. So as you can see, this road is actually very bumpy. That's what you don't want when driving a truck. It's very bumpy, very uneven, and it's very thin. You know what I'm saying? So I've already hit 2 tree branches. You know, I mean on the side of me. I'm not talking about from the top. I'm talking about from the side, sticking out. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a good thing. Not a good sign a lot of times. So when you see cars parked like that, looking like the movie Wrong Turn and shit like that, there are people out there hunting. You know what I'm saying? So fortunately, I've never been struck by a bullet driving. You know, I don't look forward to ever that happening, but you know, people are pretty stupid and crazy these days, and no telling what can happen. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got people out there gun happy trying to actually kill somebody rather than kill an animal, or hunting for food, rather it's more hunting for sport. And you know, you be in areas like this, the more further up north you get, the more out in the boondocks you get, the more, you know, there's people out there with guns and that are very racist and wouldn't give a second thought to shoot you just because of your color. You know what I mean? So, and especially if they thought they could get away with it, they'd definitely be doing that. But just like the police, you know, I think at one time all the police that's going on with all these killings of black men and women is that a lot of them thought they could get away with it because the last guy did. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was a lot of drive behind the reason why they would be quick to kill us. Other than the fact that, you know, fear or feeling threatened, there were some that actually wanted to go out and get a body. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Army does. When you're training in the military, man, and you're training as a soldier, you're training for war. You're training to kill. You know what I'm saying? And anybody's the enemy. You don't question who the enemy is. The enemy is the enemy. To you, they're trying to kill you, so you're trying to kill them. You know what I'm saying? So there's a fear there as well. But anyway, police officers pretty much trained to use their weapon. You know what I'm saying? They probably train that more than they probably train for more using their weapon than they do for diffusing situations or you know, problems they come across without their guns. You know what I'm saying? It's always a form of violence that's involved in it. Whether it's pepper spray, that's harmful. Whether it's that taser, that's harmful. chokehold that's harmful. You know, they're not taught to really negotiate or necessarily bring down or apprehend their suspects, so-called, you know what I mean, in a manner that would keep them, in a manner that would be, you know, disabling their, well, let's say threat. You know, not every one of them is a threat. A lot of people that they shot have been unarmed, not resisting. And why is that? You know, I think a lot of it has to do with, I think some of it has to do, maybe a lot of it has to do with the fact that, first of all, they're pulling a majority of black folks over. Automatically, when we get pulled over as black men, automatically we're nervous anytime we get pulled over. Anytime we see the police, we get nervous and do some shit that break the law just because we're nervous, you know what I'm saying? And they do that sometimes, intimidate us, knowing that they'll follow us, just waiting for us to make a flawed decision. Even if our tags are right, if they follow us long enough to see our tags are good, you know what I'm saying? You know they're running in place every time they get behind you, you know what I'm saying? And once they run your plates and you're legal, you don't have nothing to worry about, you know, we're still nervous. I'll be having nothing to worry about, and I'll be having to try to play it off like I'm not nervous a lot of times. It's just it's just like they think we're all criminals in a sense. We all look like criminals to them being black men, or expect us to have weed in our car and shit like that. It's the same way that we expect to get pulled over or unfairly treated by them. You know what I mean? It's just that's what it is, man. And that just comes with this racist system in society we live in, man. And you know, when it's a black cop, we just pretty much expect to get a ticket, or we don't expect to be treated as bad. You know what I'm saying? But there are some mean ass fucking crackhead black cops out there, man. Some of them, you know, I've run across a real Uncle Tom before. You know what I'm saying? Not because he didn't treat me like a brother, but it was just the motherfucker knew that I didn't do what, you know, what was called in as called in a truck I had, man, and I was responsible for it, and it came back as stolen, but I didn't steal it. You know what I mean? It was actually given to me by my father. Why was the truck stolen? I have no idea. Anyway, my point is, that cop knew in his heart that I didn't, and I could tell he knew in his heart that I didn't take it. I said that shit when I was being arrested at the time. And, you know what I mean? And he didn't even take the time to consider that shit. He just arrested me and sent me off whether I did it or not. You know, to me, that was fucked up. I had more love from a white cop. You know, it was, one time I had this cop that pulled me over on my way to Florida. I had a home from New Orleans, right? Of course I had my sweatshirt on with the hoodie. I didn't have the hood on, but I might have had my wave cap on at the time, but just me wearing my braids at the time. Like a lot of brothers just cut their hair sometimes just to keep from looking like a profiler. They don't wear their chains and shit just to keep from attracting the wrong attention from the cops. But it doesn't even take that much. You just gotta be black. You know what I'm saying? Playing your music, jamming to it, period. You know what I'm saying? Have your seatbelt on and everything. They're still gonna suspect you as, you know, this thing with the profile. You know, you fit the profile just being black, straight up. And why is that a lot of black men are caught up in the shit they have in their cars and all that, and they expect them to have that, is because they don't do the same thing to white folks. That's the only difference, man. I bet you it's more white folks that are impaired throughout the day, driving their car, off their prescription medication and shit. Probably just left a bar, had a shot or two, you know what I'm saying? And they get more of a break on shit, you know what I'm saying? But most of them, a lot of them with marijuana in their car and shit you wouldn't even think of to drive with your damn self. You know what I mean? They expect us all to be weed smokers, you know what I'm saying, or some type of drug user or drug dealer. or carrying a damn gun, or a gangbanger. You know what I'm saying? And just by the way you dress. And that's what sucks, man. And not even just the way you dress, the color of your skin. You know what I mean? So if you're a drug dealer, man, the best thing for you to do is dress in a costume, nigga. Do your drugs, your heavy dope on Sundays. Real shit. Do your drops on Sundays and during church time, and say you're coming from church. Wear a suit. Put a Bible on the damn passenger seat. You know what I mean? And view. And do your thing that way, man. Because you know, the more protection you have, or the more you don't fit the description of a drug dealer, dealing drugs is the better chance you have of not being caught in the act of it. You know what I'm saying? So, shit, cops dress up in fucking their uniforms and deal drugs. So, you know, if you saw them, like if you see a cop without his uniform, does he automatically get the authoritative respect that you would give a cop in uniform? You know what I'm saying? No. It doesn't. If I'm fucking questioning you in line somewhere at a truck stop or something, you're gonna say, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? Until you really say, oh, I'm a cop. Well, where's your badge? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just the way it is. Like me, I actually recognize an off-duty cop. A soldier who's not in uniform, I can recognize somebody not just by their haircut, just by their demeanor. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. You never know who you're standing next to, sitting in front of, at any given time, man. And just always remember that. So you always got to be mindful of what you say. You know what I mean? Around you, because there's always somebody listening. And if you happen to mention that in a neighborhood where a cop is basically on the force in your area, in your small town, and you're talking about making a drug deal, or they see you making a deal and you just thinking he's anybody on the streets, and next thing you know, you run into him again and he's on shift, because they already know what you talked about. You know what I mean? Automatically eyes on you. You know what I'm saying? So. You wouldn't even know that was the guy in line the other day. He was talking at McDonald's. He was talking about making that deal and went outside and handled it. And he was watching you the whole fucking time. I mean, so just remember, man, like brothers, man, like niggas, man, hustlers, bruh, stop doing dumb shit. Like it is dumb shit. Man, I got locked up for some stupid shit. Well, you did some stupid shit. You know what I mean? You did the most stupid shit. First of all, why the fuck are you doing on your phone in the first place talking about your business? Period. You know what I'm saying? You always know it's somebody listening. You don't give a fuck, okay, about that. But even worse, though, you ain't mindful of somebody in the area hearing you? Come on, man. Like, so, that's just, you know, something to think about, man. You know, the most successful drug dealers I know are, and that survived the game, are the motherfuckers that you didn't even know dealt with. You know what I'm saying? You went to school with the brother, you knew him for years, and the whole time you didn't know he was a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? You never knew he was a millionaire. You know, he didn't just sell drugs, he benefited from what he sold. You know what I'm saying? Spent years doing it, and he made a living from it. You know what I mean? He even held down a job when he got grown with his married with kids and shit. His wife never knew he dealt drugs. Didn't even know he had a whole fucking vault full of money somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Might have had one thing nice, but other than that, you never saw him flashy or, you know, trying to be seen. Motherfucker don't even have a Facebook, bro. Straight up. You know, all that Instagram flashing money and stuff like that, man. That's the dumbest shit ever. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta know, man. Police even got a fucking Instagram and Facebook account. Not that you visit it, but best believe they visit yours. So, yeah, man, it's just gotta
You gotta be king to the game, man. Learn the game. Learn how it is on both sides, man. Not just around your circle or what you've been through and think you got game. Like before you, I'm just saying like this. Before you get to a certification, as far as being, let's take truck driving for instance. Before I had to drive this truck, or was able to drive this truck, I had to go to the books first. First, it was studying on paper. A lot of studying on paper. You know what I'm saying? And so much of it, I didn't ever think I'd be able to remember all. And to be honest with you, there's still a lot of shit I can't even tell you what it is. You think I should know, but I don't. You know what I mean? And this is after a long time of driving the truck. I just got to where I needed to know for the moment, just to pass the certification. That's it, and learn the rest along the way. The most, when it comes to truck driving, man, the more you find out what to do and what not to do through your own trial and errors. There's nothing nobody can tell you. You know what I'm saying? They can tell you what not to do, but you don't know why until you end up doing the shit. You know what I'm saying? Then you find out why. So, it took me some years to gain experience, and even after all those years of experience, I still made mistakes. Not as big as the last ones, but I still made some of the same mistakes, man, that potentially could have had me really messed up, jammed up in a tough spot, you know. So, I'm just blessed and fortunate, man, to still have a good record, you know, despite my tickets, despite my accidents. Never had any major accidents, but everything that happens to you, whether it's ticket or accident, they all are counted against you on your license, man. And that makes a difference when it comes to getting a job. That's like your credit score in a sense. And you actually are counted by points on your license. You know what I'm saying? It's not a fair system, but it is what it is. So, you know, if you got a bad, if you got a low point system on your license, and you try to go get you a high paying job with a big company, they're gonna turn you down off of just the fact that you got that many points taken off your record. You might not even know until you're gonna get hired, and that's how you find out. You're trying to leave your job that ain't paying some money to get a job that's paying more money, and you can't even do it because of your points on your license. You might be a good driver. You might be a real good driver. You might be on time all the time. It don't matter. Like, that ain't what your license point system says you are. You know what I'm saying? And it costs them on the insurance to hire you. They'd rather hire somebody with half the experience or you know what I'm saying, way less experience than you have, just to save their ass money. You know what I mean? Be the worst driver with no tickets, but you know what I'm saying? The only way they're gonna know that is fucking by calling your company. And half the time they don't call to really find out who you are, what type of person you are, and whatnot, what type of driver. Half the time they don't even call or talk to anybody. But they'll call your other employers, employment bars, really that. When we first get on with the company coming out of school, man, I had one company call my grandma, you know what I'm saying, being that I put her down as a reference from past history of work history, and which was, you know, pretty much true. And they called her 3 times, man, straight up. I mean, so just know that, man. And of course, she gave me a good, of course, she gave me good reference to them. And but you know, it was actually true though. I was a good employee. You know what I mean? My grandma, working with my grandma, man, working for my grandma, actually taught me to be a good employee. Taught me to be a good worker. Because I wasn't shit. I didn't want to work. I was lazy. You know what I'm saying? She got the lazy bug out my ass, for real. You know, she lit that fire under me. So I credit her for my work ethic. My grandma, my sister. So, and she also taught me to have discipline when it comes to work. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's my grandma. I used to. Growing up, I couldn't stand my grandma, but that's my nigga. My grandma's white. So, I tell you, like, we've been through some
I learned to understand why she is the way she is. And still admire the fact that she's not worse, you know what I'm saying? She's not giving up, she's still resilient, she still can go. I'm so thankful right now. My grandma's probably like almost 80 years old, man. And you know what? She's in her reach to keep up with the conversation. She ain't forgetful. You know what I'm saying? She's still the same, just never thought I'd see the day when my grandma could actually retire from work. She's still a hustler. She still rents out her rooms at her house and stuff. She don't do it because she lonely. She do it to keep the bills paid. You know what I'm saying? She's still a boss. Even though she looks fragile and like an old lady, that's what people see. My grandma fucked up. And she seems like an old, nice little old lady and shit. People try to take advantage of her until they see she a people who got some bite. That's real. So, yeah. So that's my grandma, man. I look forward to seeing her again, man, soon. As you can see now, I'm going up this mountain right now. I'm going I'm going like 30 miles an hour. I got a whole convoy of cars behind me. I bet they be pissed off right now. I would be. Should have went around though. Let me see if I can pull over and let them go around me if I could. I can't. So, yeah, it's too late. One thing I learned about a truck, man, is when it comes to making a move, you have to be decisive. You either do it or you don't. That's what I always thought that in trucking is true. Because when you can't halfway commit to shit out here, you make a move, you gotta make it fully on here. If you decide you wanna make a turn, you have to go through it. If you decide you're gonna stop, you better start slowing down. You'll stop ahead of time because you can't stop on the dime out here. I mean, so you can't maneuver like you can in the car. They say it takes about the distance of 2 football fields. That's 1,000 yards to stop going 45 miles an hour or something like that. So, and then the speed limits change on you just like it did just now. Went from like 55 miles an hour to 35, and then had an up and downhill, and plus area where cars can actually make a left or right at. So that's why you got to be mindful of your speed in the truck too, man. Especially when you're going in blind viewways. What I mean by blind viewways is if you look ahead, you see that hill right there, but you don't know what's on the other side of it, right? It could be a car stalled out, or it could be somebody trying to pass another car. You see how they got the lines broken right there, and then, you know what I'm saying, you got the solid white lines. And you only got a 2-lane highway here. So, you know, when somebody's passing, coming into your lane when they pass another car. So you never know what's on the other side. That's why you always keep your speed at an area where you're able to slow down. And it's better to be driving slower than to be driving too fast. That's real. You're not able to stop on a dime. And a lot of people that don't know about trucks, majority of people that are driving cars don't understand that. You got to be mindful of that too. You can't just be thinking that everybody knows what you know. You know what I'm saying? Truck drivers, y'all got to remember that shit. You know, you can't be sitting there cussing out a driver because he did some dumb shit to you, according to you, but that don't matter. But think about when you didn't know, you know, the rules of the road, like, you know what I'm saying? Just think about back to them. You learned a lot becoming a truck driver about the road that you had no idea of before. So remember that, man. These people ain't been through the courses you have. That's why they give y'all the title of professional drivers. Really, y'all just some sloppy drivers. Same fucking drivers driving a big fucking vessel, that's all. Truth be told, so yeah, man. Just remember, man, you just able to drive, you know, just like they are, man. You know what I'm saying? You learn the rules of a truck on top of the rules of a car. You know what I mean? So that makes you more responsible. So just remember that, man.